We are live this time. Last time I had technical difficulties doing this on my computer, and I think it is working now. So, welcome to Sovereign Sunday live from Mexico. Uh, I am doing Sovereign Sunday live for the next couple Sundays until I can get my what life in order and structure and routine of content making. Right now, I want to focus on editing all of the content that I have for my Mexico, like pre and uh, I guess pre and post moving to Mexico. So I want to get all that together as far as like edited content. Um, and just so I don't overwhelm myself, I'm just going to do Sovereign Sunday Live right now and just freestyle it until I have another series curated, ready to go. So, um, for this Sovereign Sunday, I am going to do a card reading from my Goddess Power Oracle deck for the full moon tomorrow. But before I get into that, when I was thinking about what I would talk about today, first thing that came to me was you manifested your dream life. I keep having like moments where I keep stopping and like looking out the window or just like looking back and just realizing like I manifested this. Like I'm in Mexico. Like I manifested this in an intentional way with intentional strategies. And I wanted to share that with you guys today for Solvent Sunday in manifesting your dream life hacks that I've used to do that. And for me, like when I first started out on my journey of like the law of attraction, like a lot of these techniques really felt like what's the word? Not realistic, but it didn't feel like I was doing anything to make anything work. Um, and then, but that's how it is getting out of the matrix. Like you have to reprogram yourself to believe in your own power that you have, that you were born with, like that they are stripping you of believing that you have. So for me, the hacks that have worked for me from for this journey and just I think in my life in general, from the point of intention, which would be a little bit before my spiritual awakening happened. I have been doing different things in my life to like accelerate my growth in certain instances. So the first thing that really, really works for me, and I want to get into making my own, is visualization meditations, guided visualization meditations. I do these in the morning because it's the best time to do meditation is right as you're waking up, um, because your brain is coming uh, from delta to theta, I think it is. Don't quote me on all the technical stuff, but you're in a state where you're more susceptible to your reality, like creating your reality, like and believing in that and getting and aligning that with the consciousness and unconsciousness of what's going on in your brain. So morning meditations, specifically guided visualization meditations. Like I said, I want to make my own for myself, but also for the collective because the ones that I like, um, are the best they can be on what I'm looking for, but they're not exactly. And I know that specific meditations that are for you, like if you can have somebody make you one or you make one for yourself that is specific to your goals and what you need to look at, like helps so much more. But yeah, that's the first foremost thing. I did that every day. Let me see. I want to say I was doing this before I got parked up for sure. I'm trying to think exactly when I actually like started and I was doing the practice every single day. It's got to be, had to been back in June. But this is not an uncommon practice for me, but like an intentional practice specifically for this Mexico manifestation. I started doing guided visualizations, doing focused on one intent, which was moving to Mexico, like what that felt like, what that looked like. And the one that I used is really cool. I can link it if I remember in the description. If anybody is watching this and you want to know what it is, just remind me in the comments and I will, after this video, the replay, and I'll try to remember to put the link in there. But yeah, that is hack number one. Like visualizing your dream life every day will help attract things to you that allow that to be real, because your brain doesn't know the difference between real and not real. So it's like if you're visualizing this as something and you're feeling it, like I was like, yeah, I'm on the beach, like I'm on, like I had so many different things that I pictured, but it was all about being in Mexico. There was one visual, there's one that I like to do, and there's a couple that I do, but like there was just like a less than a handful of ones that I did consistently. But one is where you're in this room and you detach yourself from your physical body, and then you watch yourself on a screen, and then you pick on a tablet like choices, like if you're like on a menu and you're like picking choices, like you're just visualizing this, but and in that menu you pick a person, not a person, yourself living in a different timeline that you want to connect with. And when you figure out who that is, I pick somebody and I visualize this like for a good like week or two in this specific meditation, that I picked the person who lived in Mexico, the Tasha who lived in Mexico, and she would come down from her apartment and get me, and then she would guide me back to the apartment. And now I'm here. Like, that was what I visualized. Like I timeline jumped into her life by following her. And that's the best how I can describe it. But specifically, not just like, oh, let me sit and be silent with my thoughts and just like try to chill out. I mean, those work sometimes. It just depends on the intent. If I'm just trying to lay there and relax, I like doing it in yoga practice, yoga movement practice, where you do your last movement as laying on the ground, and then you just lay there and meditate, like in just silence and not thinking anything, not having any thoughts or anything like that. Like those are good meditations too. Don't get me wrong. There's all different types of meditations, but specifically when you are trying to manifest a goal, you need to be visualizing it and feeling it. The motion tied to the actually seeing it, if that's something you can do in your brain, which I do very well in my brain. Not everybody can visualize in their brain. I found that out, that not all normies can do that. It's a very neurodivergent thing to visualize pictures in your head. But that is like my number one hack. The next thing would be goal step tracking and accountability. For me, my biggest thing is journals and checklists and like boards and calendars. Like that's the way that I not only get things done, but that's how I also manifest. So once you have a goal, you need to break it down into steps. You can't be like, okay, I'm going to Mexico. At the time, from the beginning of this time until now, my bank account ain't saying nothing about going to Mexico, but that's beside the point. It's It's beside the point. I had to first like release the fear of coming here by myself, and because that was a resistance for years. I could have been moved to Mexico. I've had plenty of opportunities where I could have came and not went back. There was a time when I didn't have no dogs and I was here already. Not here specifically in this part of Mexico, but I lived in Mexico for a month. I did a month in Quintana Roo doing Cancun, Tulum, and Playa del Carmen. I could have just stayed or came back, and I got no dogs like that. I've had so many opportunities where I could have left him, but I had to release that fear first. There was resistance that was keeping me from coming here based on my own mindset of or idealism of how it needed to be to get here. So I first had to release that mindset. Going through that, I also had to shed the person that lived in the United States, basically. Like I had to detach from like all the things that I love about the United States, like the Dollar Tree, even though they raised their prices, things that were familiar, and also detaching from people as well, like that were not in line with my plan, didn't support my goal, or just not feeling like I needed to be or have those people in my journey in order to do this. So there was a lot of detachment, but I had to figure out steps. I knew one thing for sure is that I needed to figure out the income strategy for sure. So that was something that I worked on and was working on. And then finally at the end, like really came together, and then boop, and now I'm here. Right. But it was like a lot of steps and things that I had to do and then also be accountable for. And that's not easy for everybody. It definitely wasn't easy for me as I've been shedding this layer of mask of all my neurodivergence, which I have a whole theory on that I could do a live. I think I should do an Instagram live about that. But yeah, so it's been definitely difficult. I had a very tough financial year. And so again, doesn't make sense why I'm here, right? But that, like, again, besides the point, the goal was I wanted to cross the border in my RV, leave out of the country, and figure out my ways of moving to Mexico and living in Mexico long term. So that is a whole nother thing that for some people they have the self-guided motivation, self-discipline, and or survival skills to be able to do on their own, like me. But not everybody does. Some people need some guidance, some coaching, some consulting, and that's something that I want to offer. And I'm working on some things that I will announce in my next live, that I'm working on in the process of planning and stuff like that, of empowering women to make choices for their life without relying on the system and or not having fear, not having fear, not using fear as an excuse to not do things that they want to do. But that takes time to get. Like I said, I live fearlessly free. That's my motto, and I do a lot of things scared. I did this scared for sure. But there was still that challenge that I had to break through. Like, okay, this whole time I was like, oh, I'm doing it with the caravan. Oh, I'm going to wait till I find somebody who wants to come with me. I'm going to wait and do it when I have a partner. Let me wait. And I had to shed that fear and say, I'm just going to do it anyway. And That's why I'm here. So the next thing for me is all the woo-woo stuff. I always like to say witchy stuff. That word scares some people. Um, witch is another word for wisdom. Um, and wise woman. So, but woo woo stuff is just things that um, may feel like it's not working, but not only is there scientific proof that a lot of this stuff works, um, but it is a spiritual practice that you do that you believe in. Just like if you are religious, you believe in something and you do things, ritual practices, and belief practices that help you feel good about doing things. And a lot of those things are not wrong. Like a lot of those things are the same things that I'm doing, just not guided by some religion. You know what I'm saying? Like it has the same intent, the same energy behind it. Like when you pray, you know what I'm saying? Like you are doing a um, intentional talk out loud to a higher power in order to um, receive something. I mean, that's the law of attraction. Like that's just how that works. So if you're doing that and but in the name of Jesus, like then it's still gonna work either way. But the things that I like to do that I really ramped up in this process of moving to Mexico, which was water blessings. So speaking to your water, like intentionally, like I would speak to my when I was making ice. Ice is a real fun one. Um, I did moon water practices where I just put the water, let the water charge the moon, but also set an intention on that water. The water is listening. We are water. Everything's water. You can talk to water, and water does what it's supposed to do. So that's one woo woo thing. I also was intentionally doing showers. So that's another thing. You don't have to just drink the water, like bless water and drink it, but also working with the water when it is in contact with you. Um, so I was using different songs, a lot of Queen Herbie. If you're down with Queen Herbie, she has a lot of like affirmation type music that's good to listen to in the shower. It's uplifting, it's empowering, it speaks words of intention to the water that is showering on you and rinsing. And then also I've done meditations in the shower. There's different type of quantum jump meditations that you can do. There's different um, blessing or rinsing or cleansing type showers that you can do. And all of those things help when you set intentions to it, working with water. Um, Also, I do a lot of ancestry money offerings, um, doing offers to my ancestors, to my highest self, um, things like that. Those are really great little woo-woo practices and rituals. I haven't done a rage ritual in a very long time. I just seen a friend do an intentional rage release on her page where she was breaking a chair. And I was like, oh, that looks real nice. I haven't really done an intentional rage release, which I definitely need to do. Rage gets stored in your body when you don't release it at the time, and or if you do, sometimes people release it at the time but not with intention, and so it still gets stored in the body as trauma, and that causes a whole lot of stuff, especially in your sacral um, and solar plexus chakras down here in the belly area. That's where a lot of women store trauma, is in this little area. You got love handles and extra things that you still work out and all that stuff. A lot of trouble areas are not just diet and exercise. It's trauma that you gotta somatically release. You gotta shake it out. That was another thing. Dancing. Like dancing is another little woo-woo practice of like you're dancing to the music that has this affirmation talking empowering you and like doing a lot of like somatic movement where it's moving the energy in and out of your body. Like those practices also help when you're in an intentional manifestation goal, like you're trying to manifest like this certain thing. Um, the next things seem obvious, like discipline. To me, when I have an intentional goal, not just like, okay, yeah, this is what I want for my life. Obviously, you want to stay in the flow and a spiritual practice of like, okay, let me stay in my highest vibrations. I want to attract abundance and money at all times and things like that. But when I'm like, okay, I want to go here or I want to do this, like, there's a discipline that needs to happen when you set goals like that. When you set a big goal like that, like a big goal to like move out of the country, like the type of discipline that I had to have, like, yo, I made a lot of sacrifices, a lot of living in survival mode to get to this goal. And it's not the end, but it is the rebirth of a new person for sure. In that detachment, I'm definitely in that like placenta mode where it's like I'm about to release from the past or from the source and then move on into this new life. Um, but you have to stay focused. Like you cannot let projections of other people's fears, projection of your own fear, stop you. You have to have faith in yourself that it is going to work out. Like that's all I could have, because my bank account didn't say you should go to Mexico. There was definitely a lot of people that were supporting me, but there's other people that were like, oh, okay, I get that that's your plan. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that doubt me. I think I've proven that when I talk about it, I be about it. And that's on period. Like that's how I've lived my whole life. Like I can't even say that that's not who I am. Like I speak with intention and I make things happen, regardless of back then if I didn't know that that's what I was doing. But like I have always just been that way. It's like a guided, let's call it royal power that I have, that I've always been self-disciplined, even when I don't want to be. Like, even when I don't want to be and I want to quit and I don't understand why I'm getting up to do this, and when challenges come and I'm just like, I'm over it. I'm like, do I really want this part of the simulation? But yeah, discipline is very, very important. And I think for some people who don't have self-discipline, they need some way of accountability. And sometimes that's somebody else. Some people are motivated by an external source. Some people are motivated by no other choice. Some people have left this country because they're like, they felt so attacked or dangerous by external circumstances. And they were like, I gotta go. But yeah, you have to stay focused and you have to be disciplined. The next thing is claiming it, like speaking it out loud. I've been telling people that I'm moving to Mexico for the last 2 years. And when I say that, especially people that know me personally and they know like my situation financially and or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay. People that know me will be like, okay, well, I know you're going to get there. Let me help, keep you motivated or support you or not doubt your plan, basically. But speaking it out loud as it's already happened and or it's happening is important to that. And also changing your language, like the English language sucks. But because I get caught up in a lot of things, like I'm constantly. The good thing is that I can constantly check myself, but it's still a process of like reprogramming and learning, new language to speak to yourself, to speak out loud. So you're not casting spells on yourself. You're not casting spells on your goals. Like one thing that I'm working on is changing my language from I can't wait to I'm so excited for. Because when you say I can't wait, that means you can't wait. So you're not going to get it. I can't wait to go to here, or I can't wait to get this. You can't. Realistically, you can't. You're talking yourself out of it by even just speaking those words. But if you say, I'm so excited for, you're tying the feeling of what you are trying to match and align with, and you're also speaking a different language to the universe that calls it in now. So it's like, I'm so excited to live in Mexico. I kept saying that. I'm so excited to go to the little bodegas in the neighborhood that are right. Like I just went right before this live to go get a watermelon and a couple vegetables to finish off my meal for tonight. And I love that I have that. I don't have to go to Wally World, which I am going to go to Wally World. I haven't yet. But they do have Walmart here and Sam's Club within walking distance. To me, where I'm at. Not everybody, but like right where I'm at. I have a Walmart and a Sam's Club within walking distance. So I will go to Wally World. But I just, that type of thing. But claiming it, like once you are like, you finally make that decision for yourself, speak it out loud. Now, not every, you don't got to tell everybody your parts of your, the parts of the details of the goal, because a lot of people are going to doubt that. Like, again, you don't want too much projection of fear in your goal because you'll start to believe that stuff. But just if you are going to do something, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to go back to school, or I'm going to buy this, or I'm going to do that. Like, say it out loud. Tell people that you're going to do it. And that's also accountability. A lot of people like accountability when it comes to like, they don't want to embarrass themselves. Whatever motivation it is, you know what I'm saying? That backs up that you do something and feel accountable to do it. And it's not just something on a whim. Oh, yeah, I would love to have this, kind of thing. It's an intentional goal that you are trying to set. And you're following through with that by claiming it and speaking it out loud. So that's another hack that has got me here. Oh, yay. Oh, I can see comments now. The last one I couldn't because I was on my phone. Hello, Luminara. Good to see you. And then I would say the last thing, or the last hack on manifesting your dream life would be surrounding yourself with people who are already living the life that you want to live, or support the goals or in line with the goal that you want to have. So for me, I don't know too many people. Not all of us know people that are getting it like that. But we have a great thing that brings us and ties us together, which is social media, right? I follow people online who are Black women who look like me, or who are around the same age as me, who are living the life that I want to live, who live as expats, who have been living as expats, or as digital nomads and living in different countries for years. Like, I follow those people. Those people come up on my feed all the time. So I'm seeing those people. Am I friends with all of those people? No, but I have made connections with some of those people. Like, they are my friends in real life. I mean, not in like everyday life, but in real life. Like, I know them, I met them, we talk, we might talk outside of social media, that type of thing. And by doing that, that's allowing me my circle of within my own reality, right? Of people that I know that are doing what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's important. And then also having people that don't shit on your goals, that don't put fear in your goals. Get rid of those people. And when I say get rid of those people, I mean, like, don't tell them everything and don't talk to them about everything, because you don't want them projecting fear in your goal. But like, I had a lot of people that supported me just recently, and I get choked up every time I think about it, because one of the things that I had to do this year too, within this hardship of financial year, was to ask people for money. And I'm not talking about like, I need $20, $30 so I can get some gas money. Like, I was talking about like, I was in a rough spot where I could not pay my bills. And I don't have that many bills, but I could not pay my bills, like, and eat and do, all that type of thing. And people came through and helped me. And I needed to know that. And I think that was an important lesson for me to learn before getting here, because community is one of my number one goals right now for being here. Like, I want to create community. I want to be a part of community. It's important for me to stop living like I'm alone. And I'm an introvert, so I still like my hermit crab, and I have my apartment that's in the midst of everything. But it's important for me to connect for several different reasons. We're not supposed to be doing this journey alone. Number two, I want to eventually have some land with other people, and I don't want it to be me buying land and we all live together. Like, I want it to be a collective compound type of thing of people who I align with. And that is not my blood family. That will be soul family or community collection of other people. Like, and I want to have that as like a home base. That's been a goal, to have some type of home base. I'm always going to be nomadic. My next RV life ends in Mexico. People want to know how long I was going to do RV life. It ends here. Boat life has been on my mind for 10 plus years. I've been following this couple. I realized as they were talking this year about, their channel and stuff, that I've been following them from the beginning of their journey. And this was back when I lived in Atlanta. I've been following them for 10 years of them going through their boat life journey. Going from a monohull to a catamaran, now to a trimaran. They're in their third boat. I'm in my third RV. And I've been following these people. They've had 2 kids. Them kids are growing up. Like, those are my nephews. Like, on TV. Those are my little social nephews. But I remember when I bought my first RV and I was driving it home, I was like, is this what I really wanted to do? I could have swore I wanted to get a boat. How did I end up with an RV? I could have went, that was a timeline split that happened at some point. There's some version of me that's already living in a boat, and I just got to catch up with her, line, and quantum jump into her life. Because that's the next nomadic type lifestyle that I want to have as a full-time lifestyle. Like, I want to live on a boat. Now, do I want the boat to move all the time? No. But I want to live on a boat as my dwelling. And I prefer, my dream right now, what I'm going to try to visualize for our collective that I'm trying to do this land project with, is that we either get property on a lake or the beach. That would be nice. Or like the canal of a beach, like the canal of the ocean, and it comes in like a river, some type of water source that I can just dock my boat there, right? My houseboat, whatever. And then it sits in the water, and then I use my part of my land to just have all my food and my weed and and everything else that I want to grow and or make, like workshops and things like that, and use my land for that versus like a house dwelling. But yeah, so that is like the next goal for me. But surrounding yourself with people that align and support your goals are very important. I learned that lesson this year, that was really important on this mission to getting to Mexico. So that is my hacks for manifesting your dream life. So we're going to get into a card reading. I didn't get to do one last time because it was like running over time, and my dogs was looking at me like, are we going outside? You got to stop scheduling this during our almost walk time. But yeah, so I did a card reading earlier for myself, and it was awesome. Like, it was exactly what I needed to hear. It was exactly what I needed to download and channel. and it was right in line. Like I asked and I received. So I'm going to do a collective reading for this new for this full moon coming up, and then just all the spooky energy. But I'm really trying to, what's the word, tap into the collective consciousness, or tap in, to be able to deliver a channeled message through the internet to people who need to receive it. Um, for me, I've always felt like these should be like personal. I do listen to some people's like card readings, but I realized when I was doing that, a lot of times I wasn't, um like, I didn't feel like it was a message for me. If that makes sense. I don't know. Like, or oracle card readings. Like tarot card readings are a little bit different because it's a different system and it can be more generalized, I think. But I feel like with oracle card readings, they need to be personable, but I'm trying to change my view on that. So that's why but also I'm wanting to, I don't know if the word is master, but practice and or master my skills as a card reader, an oracle card reader. Um, I feel like I have an intuitive gift that comes through, and downloads that come through when I'm reading the message from the guide of the oracle cards, but also that I'm able to, I don't know where I'm going with that. I lost my thought of what, but like I'm getting better at doing it is where I'm getting where I was going, and feeling comfortable doing it for other people and for the collective internet, guidance. If that makes sense. So here we go. For today's message, I want to tap into what Source wants us to know about manifesting our dream life, what the next steps are for anybody who is trying to figure out what that is. I know that's what I was trying to figure out this morning when I asked the cards, um, because this was a lot of energy to manifest this Mexico thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm here. What's next? What do I want to focus in on next? Because I'm not done yet. You know what I'm saying? I gotta recharge, but I'm not done yet because yeah. So this morning I did a 3-card pull. Let's see where we're at. It's time 38 minutes. I usually do this for an hour, so we're gonna do a 3-card pull. um, and this morning I did a 3-stack pull. So right now you can't really see it. Oh, this is my dress, but these are the cards, right? So I'm gonna pull top, going to the left for the receiving side, and pull the right with my right hand, the giving side, and the middle as our um, present moment card. So I'm gonna flip. Oh my god, I got this card earlier. How is that even possible? Because I shuffled. Not only did I shuffle, I pulled. I didn't pull right off the top. So if it was like continuously going off the top, that's like that. Anyways, I pulled this card this morning. This is Isis Rebirth 24. So that will be fun. I can read this to you. It came again in the alignment message. So if it shows up upside down when I'm pulling it, then it will be in the alignment message. If it shows right side up, then it's the empowerment message. So it's funny because I turned the deck around. Oh, okay. So the next one is Assurance, Danu. And she came also in the alignment. And then, is this Nike? Ambition. Goddess Nike? Is that Nike? I feel like I pulled her before, but I don't remember her name being Nike. I feel like that's an A. I don't know. We're about to find out. But she came right side up in the empowerment message. So weird. Oh, look! When I opened up the book, it went right to her. Let's read her first. Then she wants to be read first. She's like, "Read me." All right. So it is Nike. It is Nike. It's the Greek goddess. So she came in the empowerment message. So here's her message. It says, "The Greek goddess Nike asks you to be present to the beauty and richness discovered in your life so far. You have come this distance. So what are your wins? Celebrating them is key right now to enable you to co-create even more." I feel like this is definitely for me. Um, you live in a world where you may have felt that you were not allowed to celebrate your victories lest you be cut down for being self-centered. Perhaps you were raised in a family that discourages you from shining in an authentic way. Being successful at the game of life requires you to refuse the message that you are too much or not enough. Your biggest win is to be yourself, accepting yourself exactly as you are, releasing the idea that you are flawed in any way, and expressing yourself with authenticity. This is the true power of the victory Goddess Nike expresses through you. The Goddess Nike has another message to share. If you've been struggling to move to the next level of your life, working hard and putting the time and effort in, you will soon find you are finally winning. Your determination and commitment to your intentions are manifesting in your life with beautiful results. When you are winning, the world wins too. Just remember to share your bounty. Hey, man, that's so funny. Like that it says, you've come this distance, so what are your wins? And it's really interesting for me, I guess, being by myself or with the whole learning about how with ADHD there's like a lack of dopamine or some shit, and we don't get excited the same way. Like we move on to the next thing before we really celebrate, and like that's something that I'm constantly working on. I buy journal like planners that have like, okay, how are you going to reward yourself with all this productivity? Like remembering to write something down. Like I mean, sometimes I write, oh, I'll buy myself something, but like that's not a reward. Like what else can I reward myself? Like today I was like, I'm gonna roll up the J because I've been smoking conservatively. But celebrating wins is something that I'm continuously trying to practice because I don't, and it's important to do that because you worked all this much to get that feeling, and then you did like when you have I don't even want to compare it to what I'm thinking about, but you know what I'm talking about. If you're building up all this pressure from something exciting, right? And then you don't have a release of like, okay, you celebrate the win. It's like, and then you just keep moving on and on and on. Like it, I feel like it does become overwhelming, and then you don't feel like you've accomplished anything. I think I got stuck in that part for a very long time in my life where I just felt like I wasn't successful in life because I hadn't accomplished, and I was comparing myself to people that were normies and doing like the normal life. And I realized that I've been extremely successful in my life. Does my income reflect that all the time? No, but that is not always the tier of what success should be, because money is just energy exchange. I've had plenty of energy exchanges, high and low, but within that, I've had lots of wins for myself in development, for my human experience, and all of that. So it's like it's important to do that. And I feel like with this message, especially Nike, Goddess Nike, with the wings on the with the wings on the ears, like saying basically just do it. Just um, but yes, we own the rise to the next level, and celebrating wins is important before you get there. So thank you, Nike, for coming out. She wanted me to talk to her first. So thank you. All right. So we will go, we'll just work our way this way, which is Danu. She's number 10, and her word is assurance. And she came in the alignment message. So here's her message. There are days when you wonder if you're on the right track, if your dreams are valid, if you have what it takes to show up and shine. You may have hit a dry spell where it appears that nothing is happening, and it makes you doubt yourself. When this earth goddess appears, she is reminding you of the promise of new life. Just as fields, just as fields are often left purposely fallow, perhaps this seeming dry spell of yours is really a preparation time. Under the ground of your visible life lies a stream of abundance that is feeding the roots of the seedlings of your intentions planted in the field of your dreams. Go about your day to day life with faith. Danu assures you that the form of your desire will show up in divine timing in an even more magical way than you could imagine. I love that, because we all need reassurance that we're on the right track. Sometimes we don't know. And I felt like that this morning. I was like, what do I do next? Like, do I focus on business, or do I focus on finding a partner, or what? And the the cards that I pulled this morning were saying that I need to stop operating in my masculine and try to focus on getting money, getting money, getting money, getting money. Money has come and money will come. Like I am definitely more scared than that I've been in a while, or that worry in a while about money, just because I'm in a different type of lifestyle again, that where I'm no longer living free. I've lived free for 7+ years now. Where I tapped in, I had little things that I paid for that allowed me to um, live comfortably, but overall, I haven't like paid a formal rent, house bill, storage, um, stuff like that. And so, yeah, like making money for those things to continue is now one of those things that I'm going to be thinking about again for a while. To have the lifestyle that I want in the transition to the next one, which was taking a break from RV and nomadic lifestyle and nomadic vehicles, and a vehicle in general, for a little while. I don't want to live back in my RV full time. I was just thinking today that I would turn it into a mobile beach lounge of sorts. I can't sell it as a house. I'm living in it as a house, but it's not livable as a house. I mean, I took out a lot of stuff to customize it to my own needs, that are needed for other people, for them to feel comfortable, and or there's things that are not operational that would be needed for it to be comfortable. So it either needs to be a food truck or lounge, and I'm thinking lounge. But yeah, I needed you need assurance sometimes for that. And I'm glad that that came through. Ambition and assurance. So the next one and last one is our Isis, which I read this morning. She is 24. And she is rebirth. She came up in my middle card, as well in the alignment message. So she's wanting to come back through to reassure me and all of you of her message. So, the goddess Isis, with her power of reincarnation, has a message for you. You are not broken. You are not wounded beyond healing, and opportunities are not necessarily lost forever. Your insistence on defining yourself by your losses and wound stories are not serving you now. Your alignment task is to fully accept things as they are. Choose to find a way to put the pieces back together. Let die what doesn't serve you and focus on what works. There is so much goodness to come from this situation, even if in the moment you feel trapped. The goddess Isis wants only the best for you. As your fierce ally, she will challenge you when you get off track. So pick up the pieces, tell a new story, and find home again. You will be amazed at how beautifully things come together when you reject the trap created by the stories you tell yourself. You have the key. Use it. She wanted to remind me and that's what this message today was in manifesting your dream life, is to start detaching from my stories of struggle to get me here and focus on the stories of power that got me here. Because there was a lot of struggle for sure. For sure. And a lot of people get value out of hearing people's struggle story, their struggle come up, their survival story, all of that. But with that sometimes comes misery loves company. People are like, oh, she relates to my thing. So, I have an excuse now not to do stuff. But for me, I'm definitely on a rebirth for sure. I'm on that journey of recreating a new life. I mean, just in general, like I'm moving from RV life to some type of commune life as a home base, which was going to be new for me. And then also transitioning into a whole new nomadic lifestyle, which is going to be a whole new set of challenges, a whole new set of fears and things that are going to come my way that I have to learn, new things that I'm going to have to learn about all of that. I feel well prepared in my mind because I've been, studying through YouTube University about, boats and what boat life is about and all of that. But just like what I did with RV life, and I would assume most people who have done some type of nomadic life and they started it and they realized it wasn't as glamorous as they thought it was going to be. Or it wasn't gonna, it's not that it's not glamorous, it's that it's not glamorous all the time. Stuff breaks all the time in a vehicle. There's always some type of maintenance that's happening. Stuff is falling, stuff is breaking. There's a lot of challenges, but there's a lot of rewards too. So I feel like for sure rebirth is my new life. I'm rebirthing a new person, a new version of myself, through a lot of different things that are going to come up soon. And having that assurance that everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. And having the balls and ambition to just do it. To just do it. Fear and all. So that is the message that I have for you today on Sovereign Sunday. And the message from the Goddess Oracle, I feel like that was definitely a message for me and for some people out there watching now and or the replay. So thank you guys so much for coming to watch me spill my truth and my intuitive gifts through the weaves and webs of the internet. Stay royal, stay rising, and live fearlessly free. I'm out.